Hey everybody, it's Steve here, and I just wanted to just talk for a bit, and I wanted to most importantly kind of make a follow-up to the last video that I put up, because like I said in that one, I don't want anyone to worry about me, or if anyone does, but I just felt like I needed to talk some more and kind of talk about where I'm at right now. If you saw the last video, I talked about how I came dangerously close to relapsing a few weeks ago. I was about 5 minutes away from it, to be honest. Literally. So if I'm going on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that where I was at the time of that last video was a 10. You know, I was in full-blown relapse mode. I did not drink, but it's the closest I've ever been, dangerously close. And then from there, I kind of it got better, and I kind of dropped back down to 3, maybe even a 2. I had a lot of really good days in there where it was like, phew, I dodged that bullet. So if I'd made this video like a week ago, I'd say I was doing fine again. But I have been, but something's still not right. Thursday, I was at work, just like any other day, and I'm just doing my thing, and I randomly, that knock on my mental door came again, telling me that I should start drinking again. And it didn't last long. It only lasted like 2 hours maybe, and then it went away. I mean, I was at work, I was busy. Being busy is always good. But yeah, just out of nowhere, there it was again. But I guess what I really need to talk about, what's going on with me this past week, maybe even a little bit longer. I currently have no desire to drink right now, but I've got to be honest. So one thing I need to be is honest. I don't mean to scare anyone, and I always worry about again, people who are new to this, who might be watching this, and I don't want to scare them off. When I sit here and I say I've got 18 years of sobriety, but I'm still thinking these crazy things, I don't want anyone to be scared off by that, but I've got to be honest. So the one thing I always need to do, especially with myself, is be honest. And so what I'm talking about is where I'm at right now. That's what I need to do for myself. So even though I have no strong desire to drink right now, I'm looking for a way to do it. I'm Googling, I'm trying to find have there been any cases of an alcoholic who had some sobriety, even long-term sobriety, and then went back to drinking, and that it was okay, and that they were able to drink normally again. I mean, obviously I can tell you the results is no. No, they cannot. But I'm looking, and I found some stories, but then I instantly have to question whether the person that they're talking about, were they ever really an alcoholic to begin with? Because if they were able to return to normal drinking, then maybe they weren't an alcoholic in the first place. I don't know, but I'm looking. I'm looking for a loophole, and I have been for quite some time now. Nothing crazy going on up here, and nothing manicky and desperate, but just casually kind of looking. I'm looking to find something to justify it. I'm looking for a justification. I'm looking for anyone to tell me that it's okay to start drinking again. It's crazy. I mentioned before that, unless you've ever experienced alcoholism for yourself, that it's hard to understand. There's a lot that I've learned, there's a lot that I understand now, but I'll admit there's still things that I don't. And one of the things that I don't understand is, why am I sitting here with 18 years of sobriety we're talking about something that repeatedly almost killed me. Why am I sitting here trying to find a way to do it again? I mean, that's crazy, right? That's insanity, right? I don't have the answer. It makes no sense. It makes no sense why I would be looking to try and find a way to do something that almost killed me. I don't know. But I'm looking for a loophole. And it's messed up. I know that I probably should go to more AA meetings than I have. More. I should go, period. Because the truth is I haven't in a long time. You know, one random here and there. But it's just, I never found what I was truly looking for there. There were positives. Like I think I've said this before, the biggest, most important thing that I did get from it was being in a room full of people who understood. I could say all the crazy shit that was going on in my head and all the crazy things I had done in the past, and I didn't have to explain it to anybody. You know, you're in a room with people who have done the same thing and think the same things, and you just see people kind of nodding at you as you're talking because they've done it too, or they've thought these things too. So I mean, that's very important to me because it makes you feel like you're not alone. So I did get something out of it. I'm just looking for someone. I've always been looking for someone to just make it go away, just to fix it, to cure me, and that's what I wasn't getting there. So I kind of fell out of it. I should show you my coins actually. Hold on. Because what I was getting were these. Oh, they all fallen down again. But here, what? So these are all my AA coins. I've got them in this frame, and I've got them like taped onto the paper back, and they've all fallen off. So they're all down here at the bottom. Because these gold ones are heavier, but all these colored ones are for the first year. It's like that silver one's for 24 hours, so that's for 1 day of sobriety, and then 1 month, 2 months, 3, all the way up to a year when the gold ones start. And then there's even an 18-month one in there, and all these gold ones here are for every year. So up to 11 is in here, and then I always kept my current one in my wallet, so my 12-year coin is in my wallet. So you can tell when I stopped going regularly was at about 12 years. But I got to fix this. I'm going to keep this out so I can fix it at some point, because these are important to me. They are. So I'm going to fix those today too, because they just keep falling off because I don't have a proper frame for them. But I'm going to fix those. I've even been reading this again. Again, it's like there's two parts of my mind that are at war. The part of me that's on here looking for loopholes, looking for a way that I can drink again, and the part of me that is looking to try and find a way to keep myself from doing it. It's just a crazy place to be. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to, because I've got it all from 18 years ago. I wanted to pull out my all my doctor reports. I've got like paperwork that has when I was officially diagnosed with all these things. Because I still found it funny that of course I've got paperwork that actually has my diagnosis as an alcoholic on there, and I find that funny because I didn't need anyone to tell me that. I didn't need an official medical diagnosis to tell me that I was an alcoholic. I obviously knew. So I think it's funny that I've actually got paperwork that kind of makes it official. Like I should frame it or something. And I've got other ones too. When I was diagnosed with depression, and social anxiety disorder. So I've got these other issues too, and I try my best to keep them separate because I don't want them blurring together. They can all kind of feed off each other, but I do my best to treat each of them separately. I'm sure that I've described depression before. I always say it's like, imagine that the world is bright and sunny and everyone's happy. Everyone is happy, but there's this dark cloud that just hangs over you and only you, and it follows you everywhere you go. It's always over you, and you can see the light. You know, it's like there's this thin veil in front of you, almost like teasing you. You can see the light, you can see the happiness, but you can't get out of this circle of darkness and just gloom and sadness. It just hangs over you. And there's different levels of it. It rises, it falls. And I've been dealing with this my whole life. I'm actually thinking lately that I don't have health insurance, and I hate it that you've got to wait till December to like apply for it or whatever, November, December, but because I can't afford it. But I have to take care of myself. I've been living with depression my whole life, and I'm just finally getting tired of it. I mean, I have been in the past, but I'm really sick of it right now. And I truly believe that I need to be on some kind of medication. You know, I need something, some kind of relief from it, because it's become the norm. I think I've said this before, that it's been going on for so long that it's normal. You know, I can be in a severe bout of depression and not even realize it because it's normal for me. That's just the way it is. In adulthood, I've never been suicidal. I was when I was younger. And again, this shows that I've been dealing with this my entire life, because at the time that I was feeling suicidal was before I started drinking. You know, I mean, I was a teenager. And again, I don't mean to put anything external on it, because I felt all these things. Like I said, from when I was a little kid, I felt all these things. But when I was a teenager, is when just the traumas that I was experiencing in school were just getting worse and worse and worse, and compiling. I was already horribly depressed, and then on top of that, I was just tormented at school, and it just made it worse. It led to me never wanting children, because I've seen how evil they can be and how cruel they can be. You know, getting beat up every day is bad enough, but again, for me, the worst things are always when you're mentally and emotionally hurt. It's when you're screwed with up here that I've always had the hardest time dealing with. And above everything that happened to me, one thing that, I don't know why this is like the one memory that always is the strongest, is what the kids would do is that they would get in a circle around me, like box me in so I couldn't get away, and then they would all spit on me and flick boogers on me. You know, just imagine being in a circle of people, being inside of that circle and being trapped in there, and just having other people's spit running down your face, and they're boogers in your hair and all over your clothes. And you know, I mean I was physically abused by other kids a lot, but that was worse, because they made sure that they were going to make me feel just worthless. They were going to do everything they could to just make me feel like I was nothing. And you combine that with the fact that I already felt like I was nothing. I already felt worthless. It just escalated, and I did get suicidal. I started thinking about killing myself. There was one day where I must have been a little too vocal about it, um, because I believe some kid went to, the principal, whoever. Anyway, all I know is that I was pulled aside, and they called my mom, and they said that I had to go to the hospital to get a psychological evaluation. They were concerned about me, and I guess they had every right to be, but I freaked out because, I'm a teenager, I'm so young. My idea of a psych ward was, straight jackets and people strapped to beds and crazy people screaming and ranting and raving. And they said that I had to go there and be evaluated, and that if they felt that I was a harm to myself, that they could keep me there for I think legally they don't have to keep you there for 3 days at the time. I don't know if it's different now, but they actually have the right to lock you up for 3 days. I was so scared because I had that image in my head of, I'm like, they're taking you to a mental institution, they're taking you to a psych ward. And I lied like crazy. These doctors or whoever were sitting down talking, asking me questions, and I just lied. I'm like, I need to tell these people what they want to hear, so that they don't keep me here, they don't lock me up and throw a straitjacket on me. That's what I had in my head, So I lied like crazy. Oh no, oh no, I don't want to kill myself. Oh no, I'm fine. I want to live. And at the time, it was lies. It was absolutely, I was totally lying. And I was just like sweating and nervous because I'm like, am I fooling these people? Am I convincing them that I'm fine and they don't have to keep me here? And they didn't. So I must have been a good liar back then, I guess. I got that going for me. But at the time, I totally thought of ways to kill myself and how I wanted to do it and how can I do it in a peaceful way. Nothing violent, nothing extreme, just have it be quiet and peaceful. But that hasn't happened. I haven't felt like that since then. Once I got out of school, then, well, of course, then I found alcohol, and then if you watch the last video, you know what happened from there. Yeah, depression's a bitch. It is, because it just hangs over your head and it stays with you and it keeps you down in this darkness. And it teases you with being able to see the light on the other side, but it won't let you get to it. You can never quite reach it. What I was thinking about too is, just like when I was drinking, I had to hide it, or I thought that I was hiding it. The same goes for depression. I feel like I have to hide it. I can't show anyone how I truly feel because they'll think you're crazy. They'll not understand. And nobody wants to be around that. I've never wanted to be a burden on somebody else by being all doom and gloom. So what happens is, I do my best to hide how depressed I am, and so people think that, hey, Steve's not such a bad guy, let's hang out with him. And then the real me comes out then, because you can only hold it back for so long, and then it chases people off. I feel truly that anyone who I've had in my life has eventually left it because they couldn't deal with my depression anymore. And I understand that. It's a downer, and nobody wants to be around that. I get it. So you have to hide it. Always with the hiding. It's all these things, if you heard that somebody had cancer, you would be supportive and you would try and help any way you could, and you'd be sympathetic. When it comes to alcoholism, depression, all these mental issues, there's that stigma. There's that it's all in your head kind of attitude. You should be able to get over this because it's all in your head. I don't know if we're ever going to truly get past that stigma of all this. social anxiety. I was diagnosed with that. Once I get to know people, I always use working as an example. When I first start a new job, I mean, my anxiety is through the roof because I'm around a bunch of strangers. Once you develop a rapport with them and you work with them for a while, it gets better. So my big thing is strangers, complete total strangers. I can't be around them. Just a simple act of going to a grocery store or going to a gas station brings up this almost panic in me that I can't even describe. Things that people do every day without a problem, but I've got to struggle with it. I don't get it. I need more water. A big thing, and there's one thing that really makes me almost have a panic attack, to be honest, is having people behind me. I hate being in line at any store where there's a line of people and someone is behind me. I've always hated that. It makes me so uncomfortable, so anxious. I'm trying to make the eyes in the back of my head come out so I can see them because I don't trust them. I'm sure it all stems from what happened to me in school. I always had to watch my back. But I think it's more than that sometimes. When I was living at that motel, at the end of my drinking, something happened there that I think really added to my whole distrust of people and not wanting people behind me. And I had gone out down the hall to the ice machine that was in the hallway, and some guy comes up to me and he's clearly on drugs of some kind. He's just acting high and he's ranting and raving about a microwave. He was accusing me of stealing his microwave. Now, whatever, I'm just dude, get the fuck out of my face. I don't know what you're talking about. I did not steal your microwave. And I turned around to just walk away, and I heard a rustle from behind me. And I turned back around, and he was pointing a gun at my face. And he was demanding his microwave. I talked my way out of it. I lied to him. I told him that I knew where his microwave was. Oh yeah, I remember, yeah, I saw somebody else with it. I don't have it, but I know who has it. So, why don't you go back to your room, I will go get your microwave for you, and I'll bring it to you. I kind of talked my way. I mean, of course I was drunk too at the time, but I just remember, fear's not even the word. When you're literally staring down the barrel of a gun, you sober up pretty damn fast, let me tell you. And I talked my way out of it. I mean, it took a little bit of back and forth. Let me say, he wasn't in his right mind at all. He was high on something. But I finally got him to agree to go back to his room and wait for me to bring him his microwave. And so he lowered the gun and he turned around and walked away. And I went back in my room. I closed that door. I locked it. And I know I should have called the cops, but I didn't. Because I was so fucked up at the time too. But I think I've got some PTSD from that. I've talked before on this channel how I don't like guns and I'm very anti-gun, and I was before this, but I feel like anyone who is in favor of our right to bear arms, you've probably never had a gun pointed at you. Because if you had, I think your outlook might change a little bit. Just how close I've come to dying repeatedly throughout my life, whether it was by my own hand when I was suicidal as a kid, whether it was from drinking myself to death, or from some random junkie pointing a gun at my head. It's insane to me how close I've come to dying repeatedly throughout my life. And then it makes you wonder, is there some other purpose? Am I here for a reason? Because I should have been long dead so many times. So is there a reason why I'm here? Is there some greater purpose? You know, and I sure as hell don't know what it is, if there is one. But just crazy shit. But again, what that does to me is that whenever somebody's behind me in line at a store, I keep in my head, I'm waiting to hear the click of a gun. I'm waiting to feel an arm wrap around me and like grab me from behind. Every time. Every time. I've actually walked out of lines before because the thoughts are so real. It's like any second now. It's going to happen any second now. You know, I'm gonna feel that bang in the back of my head. And is it going to hurt? Will it be quick? And will I not even know what happened? It's so real. And I've actually had to like leave lines before because I can't. It's panic. It's like a panic attack. It just comes over me. It's horrible. So I'm thinking a lot about how I need to, at the end of this year, try and find a way to get some health insurance and get myself some help. Because all this shit's been going on for so long that it's become the norm. It's just normal for me, and it's not okay. I'm getting so sick of it. I'm so sick of being depressed all the time, and whatever the hell's going on with me, with quasi-relapsing, pseudo-relapsing, you know, whatever you want to call it. I can't emphasize enough that what I was talking about in the last video, I cannot emphasize enough how over the top it was, how, like I said there, you know, I've heard over the years that an alcoholic will relapse long before they start drinking again. And that is painfully true. For about 3 weeks there, I was relapsing. You know, the only thing I didn't do was drink. I was a 5-minute walk down the street away from relapsing. It was this several week-long process that happened. And it happened without me even realizing that it was happening. It was so surreal, you know, culminating in me having like a fucking breakdown on my floor over here. So I can't emphasize enough how bad that was. So I'm nowhere near there. I'm not there today. But like I said, I'm researching. And another thing that's always been told to me, and it's even mentioned in this book right here, is that the desire to drink normally is the obsession of every alcoholic. And it's true. I would give anything to be able to do it normally. And again, those two sides battling, knowing that I can't. I can't, and I know it. I know that. It's been proven. I don't need anyone to tell me. I don't need to read it in a book. My life has proven to me that I can't drink. So why am I trying to find a way to do it? So, not today. I'm still doing the one day at a time thing. I'm really not looking towards the future. I'm not looking ahead. Because the last time I did, the last time I looked towards the horizon, there was something there that I didn't want to see. I just feel like something's coming. Just, again, I've got to be honest. I feel like something's going to happen soon, later. When, I don't know. But I can see it on the horizon. I can see it there. I just feel like I can't keep doing this forever. I feel feel like I've been deprived. The word I've been using lately is deprived. I've deprived myself. For the last 18 years, I've been depriving myself of the only thing in this world that ever made me feel good, that made me feel normal. Not just good. Good's not the right word. Because by the end, obviously, like I said, by the end, it didn't feel good anymore. It just took everything away. It made me feel normal. It's the only time in my life I've ever felt normal, is when I was drunk. At the beginning. Then things progressed and got worse. And that's the only thing I need to do too, is I need to play the tape all the way through. You know, tell myself, okay, what if you do drink again? Then what's going to happen? I've talked about this in the last video. I shouldn't be talking about it again, but it's just where I'm at. That I was at a 10 at the time of the last video. I'm at about a 5 now. Maybe even, and I would say lower because of just how I feel. I feel very calm. I feel very accepting. But that's the scary part. Is that the things that I'm thinking and feeling and doing, I shouldn't be this calm about it. I should be like, oh hell no, I need to do something about this right now and stop this. That's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm okay with it. I feel like it's gonna happen sometime, and that I'm okay with that. And that's the scary part. Is that I'm okay with it. Again, I'm fine for today, and we'll deal with tomorrow. Tomorrow, I got to go back to work tomorrow. So, again, fear is a wonderful thing, and I can at least be grateful that I tell myself that if I were to ever do it again, it wouldn't be on a work day or a work night. So, I'm back to work tomorrow. And I got turned down for a vacation. I guess it's a good thing, to be honest. I was pretty angry and resentful about it. That, like, everyone around me is getting vacations, and I put in a request for one. You got to give a month's notice if you want to take a vacation. And so a month ago I put in for one, and I got turned down. So I was angry and bitter and resentful, and all the things I always am, and depressed. But honestly, I think it's a good thing, because I think that having 10 days off right now, it wouldn't be good for me. It's like I don't trust myself. This is horrible. I'm sitting here right now, and I'm saying that I don't want to have a vacation. I don't want to have any days off because of what I might do. It's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. I literally don't trust myself right now. I don't know what was worse. What happened to me a few weeks ago? Or this? I don't know what's worse. Because this is more subtle. This is more seductive and gentle. It's like my alcoholism tried the beating me over the head approach. It tried the aggressive, hardcore approach. And now that didn't work, it's trying the subtle, manipulative method. It's so crazy. And I'm aware of it. I'm always aware of it, but there's nothing I can do to stop it. That's the insanity of this. That's a look inside my fucked up head. But I'm sitting here talking about the fact that someday, somehow, I'll probably relapse, and that I'm okay with it. But I'm not. At the same time, I'm not. I don't know. I don't want this to turn into another hour-long video. So I'm probably just going to cut it there. There's just so much going on up here that I could probably talk forever. But I don't want to do that. So I just wanted to get out there. The main point of this is just how I've been feeling lately. And I wanted to do a follow-up to the last video and say that I'm in a different place now, but still not a good one. It's different, but it's far from good. There's still something really wrong, and I know there is. And it's just a question of whether or not I'm going to do something about it. So anyway, That's all I got. I've got more, but I'll stop there. Everyone take it easy. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves, most importantly. I'm Steve. I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not drinking today. Take care. Ow, hit my toe.